glenohumeral external rotation range of motion test. You're going to have your partner lie supine on the table with their shoulder abducted at 90 degrees and their elbow flexed at 90 degrees with a towel underneath the shoulder to support. You're going to place the goniometer's axis of rotation on the electron process. You're going to have the stationary arm aligned with perpendicular to the floor, and you're going to have the mobile arm aligned along the ulna to the ulnar styloid process. You're going to have your partner externally rotate their shoulder. Normal range of motion is 90, and she got approximately 87. Matter. This is anterior deltoid manual muscle test. You're going to have your partner sit on the edge of the mat table. You're going to ask them to flex their arm to 90 degrees. You're going to place one hand at the shoulder joint to stabilize it, and the other hand just proximal to the elbow joint, and you're going to tell them to resist your downward force. She did, so that's a 5. The action of the anterior deltoid is going to be flexion and horizontal adduction. And the origin is going to be the anterior lateral 1/3 of the clavicle, and the insertion is going to be the deltoid tuberosity. It's going to move in the sagittal plane. This is ankle eversion range of motion. You're going to have your partner lay supine on the table with their feet dangling off of the table. You're going to align the axis of rotation between the lateral and the medial malleoli along the talocrural joint. You're going to align the stationary arm along the midline of the lower leg and the mobile arm along the second metatarsal. And then you're going to have them go into eversion at the ankle. Okay. She got approximately 21, and normal range of motion is 18. This is hip external rotator group manual muscle test. The muscles involved are going to be the gluteus maximus, the posterior fibers of the gluteus medius, and the sartorius. Partner position is going to be sitting on the edge of the table with their knees off, and you're going to have one side stabilize the lateral side of their knee, and you're going to ask them to externally rotate the hip. The other hand is going to place resistance above the medial malleolus, and you're going to tell them to resist your force. She did, that's a 5. The action of the glute max is going to be hip external rotation, hip extension, and then the origin is going to be the sacrum, the coccyx, the posterior crest of the ilium, and the insertion is going to be the gluteal tuberosity and iliotibial tract. The plane of motion is going to be the transverse plane. This is cervical side bending with a goniometer. You're going to have your partner sit on the edge of the mat table with their head in neutral position. You're going to align the goniometer as axis of rotation on the center of the shoulders at T1 and C7. You are going to align the stationary arm along a perpendicular line to the floor, and you're going to align the mobile arm along the occipital protuberance of the skull, and you're going to have them bend their neck to the side. Normal range of motion is 40 for this motion, and he got approximately 38. This is thoracic trunk extension manual muscle test. You're going to have your partner lay prone on the table, and you are going to stabilize their lower extremities throughout the whole movement. You're going to have them place their hands behind their head, and you're going to tell them to go into extension. and they're going to hold. If they can hold for 5 seconds, they get a 5. Good, Jay. He got a 5, and the muscles that are working to help trunk or thoracic extension is the erector spinae complex, and one of those muscles is the longissimus, which has an origin at the transverse processes and an insertion at the transverse processes superior to the origin. The plane is the sagittal plane, and the action of the longissimus is trunk extension.